Hi everybody, I'm Corina. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My Facebook page is Corina Stefan Astrology, and the website where you can find me and book an astrology reading with me is www.corinastefanastrology.com. On September 19th at 10:29 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, the Virgo new moon at 27 degrees invites us all to go deep within in order to be able to choose the next direction that we want to follow. During this new lunar cycle, our life gets under the precise lens of a cosmic super microscope that is operated by a hybrid between an angel and a robot who is in love with diagnosis, with improvement and perfection. And that is Virgo. By following Virgo's neutral and cool guidance, we have now the opportunity to clearly see what works in our lives and what doesn't. We get to see what kind of existential illnesses are we afflicted by. It almost feels like taking our lives to the car shop or to the surgeon's office in order to find out what pieces in the mechanism are old and need to be replaced. During the next 28 days, we'll decide quite often if we want or not, if it's worth or not to fix what no longer works. That could be a job, that could be a romantic relationship, a health issue, the fact of living and working in a specific location, a family connection, and so on. And we are going to find out what exactly healing and repairing that issue implies. Because Virgo energy always activates the theme of cleaning and order in our personal life, putting us face to face with chaotic or messy environments or with situations that are just stuck or simply not effective, it's very likely that we are all going to feel the urge of using a lot of detergent and a lot of patience and start cleaning all the corners of our lives and of our beings. When this sterilization cycle is complete and all the hotbeds that were creating problems, stagnation, inefficiency, and frustration have been removed, you will be able to look at your own life as if it were a sparkling, immaculate piece of china that appeals to your senses and makes you want to serve food in it. The whole Virgo mental arsenal consists of sharp intelligence, focus on details, powerful analysis, the ability to discern between the good and the evil, between the wheat from the chaff, the realism and the practicality of Virgo. All this is oriented towards gaining existential clarity, healing, and towards the restoration of physical and emotional wholeness. It functions almost like a set of adjustable wrenches and screws that once inserted in the right place can make you feel good again in your own skin and in your own life without having to continue coping with pain on a daily basis by means of painkillers for body or for soul. And this truly is Virgo's greatest gift. If we follow its therapeutic guidance, and if we get rid of all that is toxic or dysfunctional, we can find ourselves whole again. Virgo is all about that special talent of putting together a bunch of separate items and pieces so that they work together, so that they become one beautiful, alive system. What before was maybe just a pile of junk, of rusty, dead stuff, receives the gift of life in the hands of a Virgo who has the patience and who has the devotion to investigate and to try millions and millions of combinations until the recipe for success is found. Therefore, I recommend you all to practice during the next 28 days your patience, your attention, your devotion, and your realism and determination in order to implement new healthy routines that can reshape your lives for the better. And don't forget that Virgo is committed to excellence through repetitive work. So daily repetition in creating new rituals and habits in your existence is key. The sign of Virgo is deeply connected with humility and devotion, aiming at serving others at the highest level of perfection and excellence it is capable of. So don't forget to check your emotional pulse from time to time during this lunar cycle. If you feel you cannot maintain this state of humility and are rather drawn towards the mirage of other emotions like discontent, frustration, irritation, impatience, denial of personal limitations and boundaries, please remember that humility is the only spiritual and emotional state that helps us make improvements. It is the only state that allows us to become aware of our imperfections, of our fears and flaws. As this new moon in Virgo makes an opposition, that angle of 180 degrees with Chiron in Pisces, please be gentle with the deep wounds and insecurities that we all carry within. Chiron in Pisces symbolizes profound trauma that was inflicted by lack of love, lack of forgiveness, lack of acceptance or compassion. It speaks of how life feels when we feel separate from others and from God. So for the next 28 days, try to meditate upon the following fundamental questions. Where in my life do I need love, forgiveness, acceptance, and healing? What kind of thoughts and daily routines distract me from how I feel? Where in my life do I feel broken? Do I feel incomplete? And what would it take to be able to feel again whole and happy and make peace with myself and with God? What are the sensitive and the painful issues in my life that could only be healed if I got back my faith in God's perfect timing, even when His interventions appear to be delayed? Where in my life do I feel overwhelmed, powerless, lacking control, feeling like a victim that is at the mercy of others? This opposition between the moon in Virgo and Chiron in Pisces calls for our attention in readjusting the fine balance between the heart and the mind, between the matter and spirit, between practical issues and emotional issues or spiritual needs. We need to embrace our fears, our imperfections and flaws, and those parts of us that we tend to reject in order to heal ourselves from this obsession for purity and perfection, so that we can become ourselves again. We need to become again true, deep human beings that have, depth, not just schematic illustrations in a book for sad children. If we keep excluding certain pieces of our being, making the excuse that these pieces are not thin enough, blonde enough, sociable enough, successful enough, and so on, we risk becoming like an abstract drawing, a schematic drawing that is done by children, where a mother or a father lack their heart, as the heart has been cut out from that image by means of scissors. Love and acceptance are the perfect antidote for suffering and pain, so try to put with your lips more of this divine nectar on your wounds and on the wounds of others when offering the kiss of forgiveness and the kiss of compassion. Love enables healing because it is, according to Coach Sonia Francis, the only energy that opens up the space, that demolishes the protection shields a person might have in place. When we are tense, when we are closed up and stuck in contraction due to fear, due to resistance or mistrust, healing is simply not possible. Mercury, the ruler of this lunar cycle, conjuncts Mars in Virgo and opposes Neptune in Pisces. So one might feel a lot of impatient, nervous energy in the air that wants to take action by all means and very fast. But this opposition with Neptune in Pisces suggests that impulsive actions are not desirable at all. Neptune is a symbol for situations that are confusing, where there are important pieces of information missing. So try not to make capital decisions during this lunar cycle, especially during the first week after the new moon moment. It's better to wait until this fog of confusion disappears and until the veil of secrets and of mystery is lifted. Trust divine timing, even if you can hardly wait to take action, because everything happens on the right moment, not before. Haste can only lead to errors since information is not fully available or visible. Saturn in Sagittarius forms a T-square together with this Moon-Chiron opposition. This is a very tense configuration that invites us to investigate our thoughts, expectations, beliefs, perceptions, and inner dialogue in a new light. We need to make changes in the way we perceive ourselves and others so that we can use the next 28 days as a time to complete a very, very long test that is consisting of questions that we can only answer by true or false. So examine your beliefs, examine your expectations and values and ideas about life one by one and decide if they are still valid for you. If you identify any ideas that are old and expired, please proceed to adjustments and replacements. Saturn is a symbol for time used with responsibility, maturity, and efficiency. So we need to redefine ourselves outside of beliefs that have been created by past experiences. Those beliefs are the product of life situations that are not valid anymore, they are outdated, so they act like a stone armor around our bodies and beings that keeps us captive, keeps us stuck. Though in the meantime we have changed and we have evolved. So allow your minds and your thoughts to grow together with you. Be as curious and free of prejudices as a baby can be. A baby, for example, looks at a flower as if it's the greatest miracle of nature because there are no previous negative experiences involving the flower. So give back that innocence to your minds. Free it from rigid and dogmatic idea you've grown attached to and expand your mental horizon beyond all that is familiar. The opposition between Jupiter in Libra and Uranus in Aries makes this new moon chart even more tense, as it reminds us of the necessity to harmonize opposite, almost incompatible tendencies. On the one hand, Uranus in Aries stimulates us to become free from all that restricts our freedom and independence and encourages us to assert our needs and individuality in a direct, honest, even a bit brutal way. On the other hand, Jupiter in Libra activates the team player and the romantic partner within us. So honor the needs of those that you love and appreciate them and do your best to create harmony in your relationships. But also make sure before entering such a courtship phase that you are part of the right relationship and that you are being respected and valued by your partner. The square, that angle of 90 degrees between Jupiter in Libra and Pluto in Capricorn, suggests that in order to grow in our relationships, we need to embrace our shadow, all those aspects that we feel ashamed of, aspects that have been created through abuse, through humiliations or violence. No matter how many smart and cool strategies and remedies we might use against fear, fear will always be part of our human nature. We cannot get rid of it, so it's better to stop fighting it and to embrace it. The key for success here is to not allow fear stop us from doing what we want and to move through it instead, keeping it under control. Remember that all that we desire lies on the other side of our fears. Thank you, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.